All right, our next issue this morning is definitely on the front burner of national discourse. The Senate has again refused to confirm Ibrahim Magu's appointment as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Yeah, the upper chamber said it couldn't endorse him for the job based on a security report from the DSS questioning his integrity. TVC News' Doshi Magu has that story.
It's the start of another legislative day, and one of the main issues to be treated at plenary is the endorsement of the nomination of Ibrahim Magu as the substantive chairman of the EFCC. He has run the agency in acting capacity for more than a year now, and this would be the first time he's appearing before the Senate for a confirmation screening. He appeared better prepared for the exercise. The legislators were armed with probing questions, which Magu seemed to take in his stride and answer competently.
Those of us who are lawyers are worried about the case or cases of non-obedience of court orders by our organization.
Then the tide changed. Another report from the Department of State Security was read on the floor by Senator Dino Melaye. Magu promptly challenged the authenticity of the report, insisting that he was not given a fair hearing by the security agency.
In the light of the foregoing, Magu, M-A-G-U, Magu in capital letters, has failed the integrity test and will eventually constitute a liability to the anti-corruption drive of the present administration.
Our two of such reports submitted to this office by the same law enforcement agency. Two different reports, the same day, about the same people. That goes to tell you the credibility of such an institution.
Magu's answers appear not to have satisfied the legislators.
To put the question, those in favor that the nomination of Mr. Ibrahim Magu is hereby nominated as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes and Commission, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it.
A voice vote was cast with majority against confirmation of Magu as chairman of the EFCC. Former Majority Leader Senator Ali Ndume pleaded with the legislators to have a rethink and probe the authenticity of the letters upon which Magu's rejection was based.
I have two letters here. None of them is addressed to you. One is addressed to the clerk. One is addressed to the National SA. That is what has been done. Number one. Number two, Mr. President, yesterday we got a letter from Custom signed by an assistant director to the clerk. We said that was not the right thing to do. This letter, if worth it, should have been written and signed by the DGSS.
What we have taken decision today is that we have not confirmed Ibrahim Magu as the chairman, and as such, it goes to show that it requires for the president to renominate another candidate, and in the interim, that he cannot, of course, somebody else will have to carry on the exercise.
This is the second time the upper chamber is rejecting Magu's appointment following an earlier report by the DSS. It is not clear if the presidency will again insist on forwarding his name, or this time around replace him with a new candidate. Abu, TVC News, Abuja.
Wow. Who saw that coming?
Between yesterday and now, lots and lots of discourse from amongst Nigerians. Now, joining us is a lawyer, Ahmed Abass. Ahmed, good morning.
Good morning.
And really good to see you right now.
Good morning.
Okay, let's start it this way. The EFCC is an agency under the presidency. The DSS is an agency under the presidency. One was thinking, or one would think, that before a name is submitted to the National Assembly, the presidency would have done its homework of trying to pass anybody through any integrity test or security checks, as the case may be. What's your concern about this?
For me, it's a national embarrassment. and an embarrassment to the president, to the office of the president. Because, like you rightly said, it beats my imagination as to why an agency of government, is it that there's no collaboration and partnership? Before the president forwards a name to the Senate for confirmation, I would have thought that they should have done their homework very well to be sure that there will be no embarrassment. It's a national embarrassment and an embarrassment to the office of the president that the DSS is writing a report indicting someone that the president has forwarded to the entire nation. And for a regime that came on the mantra of change and an anti-corruption, philosophy, I was thinking that they should have done their homework very well. To me, it's an embarrassment, except if it's more than we are seeing, if there's some undercurrent.
More than meets the eye. Okay.
That's really what the question is. Is this beyond sentiments and all of that? When you read the body language of the senators on the floor during the screening and the Magu's comportment and all of that, is there really more to this than meets the eye? In whose interest is it if that if Magu does not emerge chairman of the EFCC? Is it in the national interest, or are there other underlying factors here?
You see, if we want to speak from the school of thought that subscribes to the rule of law, the Senate, of course, is constitutionally empowered to confirm whosoever the president wants to nominate as the chairman of the EFCC. But I do not need anybody or a prophet to tell me that from the body language, the passion and the zeal with which the Senate shut down the nomination of Magu, it's very clear that, of course, I never expected them to confirm Magu.
Oh.
Yes, I that's the honest truth. Look.
Why not?
It's most of these senators and governors, what do you call this bailout fund, is a big question. Even the Senate president, there's an allegation hanging over his neck that about 2 billion naira has been traced from the Kwara State bailout fund. It's an allegation. I stand to be corrected. There's an allegation. You do not think such a man that is being investigated for having received 2 billion naira out of his state bailout fund will preside over the confirmation of a man that will eventually nail him? There's a big problem there. And
there is the case of the Paris Club loan that was refunded. 500 and something billion.
It's like you make so. Look, they have too many cases. I know the governors are very powerful in this country. They are very powerful, and they control most of the senators because they prepare the ground and send the people to the Senate. Whatever the governors tell the senators to do and their House of Rep is what they do.
Yeah, but the senators let's look at some of the questions they asked. Yes. The issue of integrity, of course, is a major issue. It's on that ground that he was not confirmed. But there are questions about human rights, the way, during EFCC operational procedure, or that they detain people while investigations are ongoing. Now, can you do this anti-corruption war? Can you carry it out outside of the rule of law? That was basically the question. And as far as they're concerned, there's a big question mark on that, in the way that Magu has handled things.
I will not shy away from the fact that there are abuses, lapses in most of our agencies, law enforcement agencies, DSS, police, EFCC. They violate rights of Nigerians. They detain them sometimes beyond the constitutional, provisions. I'm not in doubt about that at all. But the subject matter, the main focus, is the anti-corruption war. You can fine-tune the processes and procedures of an organization without necessarily trying to kill the organization for doing its job. See, the issue of corruption in this nation, let me tell you, if, like we've agreed, if we do not kill corruption, corruption will not only retard our progress, we will not go anywhere as a nation. The entire system will collapse. That's the honest truth. It will become a failed state. Because corruption is simply compromising the entire institutions of a state. And when you do that, what you are simply doing is that you are building a structure, a house that is a 100-story building. And the engineers or the bill of quantity says, for this pillar, put 100 bags of cement. And you decide to say, it doesn't matter, let us put 2 bags of cement. It's a question of time. That structure will collapse on the entire occupants of that district. The minuses, we must tell EFCC, you must operate within the ambits of the rule of law. But we must also be able to shout as Nigerians that, look, we must empower our institution to go after the robbers, to go after looters. And we must not clap and give standing ovation. Integrity. Does the Senate have integrity? Does he have integrity? Were you not in this nation when they took over some banks and wrote over the debts of some people? Were you not in this nation? People walk into the bank and 2 billions of naira, rearrange a system where somebody who has worked for you as your former MD took over a bank as a managing director and wrote over 8 billion naira. If you have the capacity to walk into a bank to borrow money that can be written off for you, will you be here? You can set up an entire estate.
Absolutely.
Are you getting my point? So corruption comes in different coloration.
So the issue of integrity should go round, not just from one.
It should go round.
It's all right. Let's go on a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast. We're discussing the EFCC versus the Senate. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Rejected for the second time. That is a story of Ibrahim Magu, the acting chairman of the EFCC, the anti-corruption body in Nigeria. Of course, he was before the Senate yesterday. 1.5 hours grueling time, you know, in that Senate. At the end of the day, of course, he was not confirmed. Our guest is Ahmed Abass. Now,
I think. Sorry, let's bring in Fola now before we so that we can keep the tempo up in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's bring in Fola Dele to give us a reaction on social media. Yeah, good time to bring you in.
Oh, very dramatic. Very dramatic.
Across the country, it's been dramatic since yesterday.
Exactly, and as you can imagine, a lot of reactions online.
You take only one.
Yes, okay. Let's do this. Okay, Yakubu Ismail Saman says, there are 1,000,001 Magus in Nigeria. Senate not confirming him doesn't mean that he will leave EFCC. PMB should nominate another Magu.
Okay.
TC says Magu isn't the only one that can head the EFCC. Nigeria is a country of 180 million people. The Senate has done well. Christian Chukwu says, according to Nigeria's Senate, Magu symbolizes an organic contradiction to the war against corruption. Femi Wolabi says, Magu's debacle, presidency versus Senate, EFCC versus DSS, government within government, corruption fighting back, hashtag Nigeria. Amadou A. Bello says, system of governance in Nigeria is like a season film. If Nigerian president renominates Ibrahim Magu to the Senate, again, they might confirm him. Olamide says, to serve Nigeria is not by force. Mr. Magu, take the Senate rejection in good faith. History will tell it that you did your best.
Okay.
Very interesting reactions there. I want to go back to the issue of the very people who are presiding over this case being the ones who have cases at the EFCC. I mean, doesn't that signify that there's a fault in our system?
It runs counter to the principles of justice. You can't have a case I'm investigating for corruption against you, and they are bringing my confirmation before you. You do not need anybody to tell you you won't pass their test. You won't pass it. You won't. If you bring Magu back 2-3 times, they may, because of probably public opinion, decide to confirm him.
Yeah, like someone said.
If you shroud the whole process of his confirmation in secrecy that Nigerians will not know, I can tell you, represent him 100 times, they will reject him 100 times.
But the point is, can he even be represented by the president as it is right now?
There is no law. There is no law that prevents the president. There's no known law in Nigeria. The president can. Obasanjo did it 3 times. The aviation minister, Abass, was sent to the Senate. He sent them back 3 times before they confirmed him. If the president so wish. Because it's a matter of principle here. It's a matter of principle. It's not just about that Magu. There are no other Nigerians who can. It's a matter of principle.
Now, speaking
that
of
we should not be held in the jugular by an arm of government that are people with due respect to some respectable one among them, but we know they are rascals.
The clearance of, yes, indeed, the clearance of Ibrahim Magu by the president, who, of course, the Senate, in the first time, they told the president to represent Magu if he's cleared by the DSS. Then you have the Police Service Commission, on the other hand. Who really should be the one clearing an Ibrahim Magu to say, look, there is no integrity question on here? Is it the DSS or the PSC, the Police Service Commission? Whose job is it?
No, DSS, for all public officers, including your governors, before they stand for any election public offices, they go through security clearance from the Directorate of State Security. They go through clearance.
Okay.
Yes, DSS.
So it's the responsibility of the DSS.
Yes.
All right, Fola, can we leave you to go now?
Honestly, I don't want to leave, but I understand.
Thank you, but sorry, you have to go now. Sorry. All right, so in all of this, in the eyes of the law, where does Magu stand now? Because they are saying that we heard some comments there from experts who said that he cannot even continue anymore as the acting chairman of the EFCC.
If the Senate has rejected his confirmation, but like I said, there is no law. I do not know, as I sit here, any law that prevents the president from renominating him back to the Senate for confirmation. Right. So if the president so deems it fit that he strongly believes that Magu is competent to be the chairman of EFCC, the president has the prerogative to forward his name back to the Senate.
All right, but understanding, is there a...
Because the allegation, except you want to preside as the judiciary is an allegation against him until proven guilty in a competent court of law. As of today, it's a mere allegation. That's why when I was using my language, I was careful. I said there are allegations that some of these people who are presiding over the confirmation of the EFCC are being investigated for their participation in the bailout fund. Like I said, I don't see anybody that is being investigated for participating in looting a state bailout fund, having the power to confirm you so that you send him to jail. No, you won't do it.
Well, according to some of those tweets there are 1,000,001 Ibrahim Magus in Nigeria. Why is it such a challenge or difficulty for the president to find another Magu to head the EFCC?
I'm not in doubt.
If it's not an issue of, building strong men rather than building strong institutions.
You need strong men to build strong institutions. Institutions do not build themselves. You need strong men to instill ethical values in institutions over a long period of time. Somebody said, what are institutions? They are the lengthened shadows of men.
Nuhu Ribadu was seen as a strong man, but whatever he put in place in the EFCC seems not to have held on till now.
The forces of corruption truncated the acculturation of EFCC. It was the forces of corruption that aborted the attempt to build a strong institution. If you had a Nuhu Ribadu run EFCC for 2 terms, he leaves, and through his impute, because you see, when you work in an organization, you know people that have imbibed the spirit of that organization. With his impute, bring somebody like another Nuhu Ribadu for a continuous period. Look at continuity in Lagos State. You see the impact that Lagos State, if you continue in this trend, Lagos State in the next 20-25 years will be 1 million miles away apart from other states. Continuity. That is what continuity does. You need strong men to build strong institutions over a long period of time, so that by the time any leader comes that does not have the culture of that institution, it becomes so obvious. The institution will be powerful and courageous enough to eject the man out that you do not seem to belong here. It was corruption that aborted the attempt at the attempt at building a very strong. Look at what they do to New Ribadu. You send somebody to, was it Kuru or which of the schools? NIPS. In Kuru. Is it not an embarrassment that somebody you sent to a strategic school, they went into the classroom to bundle New Ribadu out of the class? It's a national embarrassment. That's what corruption can do. If they could go to such an extent of going to the classroom in a strategic school to bundle a man that has occupied such a position, the society is sick.
All right. In this case now, is there any time frame by which Magu can be in acting capacity?
Of course. Worst case scenario, maybe for a term, his first term, maybe if the president keeps nominating him, by the time the first term expires, I mean, that should be the end. Like, I agree totally that there are so many Nigerians, because I'm never in doubt. I grew up in this country. I know, look, when you interact with Nigerians, you will see the talent, you will see the passion, you will see the competence of Nigerians. There's no problem bedeviling Nigeria that you do not have Nigerians that can solve. I tell you, no problem that is bedeviling us to grow as a nation that will not have capable men. But you see, the system is such, it is so perverted that it has a way of frustrating good-hearted people. Why, if you ask me my opinion, believe me honestly, not because there are no other Nigerians, to simply damn the Senate, to simply damn their consequence. Which of these guys can work without security apparatus in the streets of Nigeria? Tell them to come and parade themselves in the streets of Nigeria.
Well, some people will say, look, the Senate is only carrying out its responsibility of checks and balances. It's really doing that. Is that what it is in this case?
Do you know, even look at, somebody said, yes, if for purpose of independence of the judiciary, they're actually doing this one, I don't have any problem. Are you getting my point?
Or the legislature?
Yes. If the legislature is doing its job because we want to be independent, we don't want to be influenced by how the party. If you claim to be, this is a government that controls the Senate, APC, and all the rest of them. If they believe in the same philosophy, there are decent ways of resolving matters democratically if you believe in the ideology of your party. So it's simply just to tell you what you saw, that drama that you saw yesterday, was basically an indication that the house is not in order. We have a house, people by whose main agenda is, let's cross over to this party because that is where we can make our dream come true. Not because they believe in the ideology of it. If you believe in the ideology of the party, you help your party and your president to resolve problems that will embarrass you before the nation. Because, like I said, it's an embarrassment.
All right.
The man in the eye of the storm actually did make a comment. Maybe we should end this actually by hearing what he had to say. He actually did say he was unruffled by all of the drama, according to our guests, that has gone on since, of course, yesterday. He spoke moments after
he leaving the Senate.
The confirmation has not changed anything. We have with the wheels on duty, so we will continue to fight corruption. Yes, but it has not changed. I will work until the last day, whether confirmation or no confirmation. Those allegations cannot stand the test of time because this allegation cannot be proven. You know, you cannot just raise mere allegation and you don't give the chance to person to even answer you. There is the issue of fundamental human right, right of fair hearing.
We bring out ourselves to actually, in solidarity, to ensure that the right man that's meant for the right job should be confirmed.
Okay.
Those are comments there. Certainly Nigerians are still reacting, and somehow I think tomorrow we'll talk about this again on the program to dwell on other issues. Ahmed, Abass, thank you very much for coming on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. This is where we come to the end of today's edition of the program. Tomorrow we'll be back again with other issues, and certainly we're not done with the Magu versus Senate yet. We'll be talking about that tomorrow as well. Stay with us as we get along, but have a great day ahead. I am Mike Okwache.
Or is it Nigerians versus corruption? We'll find out. I am Ngozi Alim. Do have yourselves a beautiful day. Bye now.